Hi, welcome to the Heart of Illumination. I'm Joseph. Thanks for being here to receive today's message and transmission. I hope it resonates. Whatever resonates, leave the rest. And I hope it helps you. It helps find you well wherever you are, in whatever state of being you're at, whatever you're going through in life. So today's flow and channel will be kind of raw, because right before this video, right before this message, I recorded a personal log for myself, and a lot of things came up, and a lot of intensity came up. So I want to make sure that I do incorporate this message and transmission with the authenticity and the energy and the message that was there that might resonate with some of you, and maybe you're going through this. And so it's been very raw, right? The last 12 hours or so has been just kind of raw. Like, I'm grateful nothing external happened. I didn't harm myself in any way, physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically, and kind of stability-wise, holistic stability-wise. I've experienced another wobble, just how it is sometimes. After I recorded my video from yesterday, I recorded 2 videos, a personal log, maybe 3. Personal log, just a 20-minute of the landscape of the Bay Area and the harbor, and then I also recorded a message as well for you guys. But yet, I felt that when I was recording that message, things was just not flowing as well. Yes, part of that message, part of it was channeling, and a lot of good things was being shared. But I didn't feel aligned to share that, so I'll still contemplate to whether share that or not, or maybe just edit some things out. But I somehow allowed this thought to be there, right? Maybe a little bit of perfection, maybe, or whatever. But and then it kind of stuck, right? And when I got home, I guess I was starting to feel this wobble, right? Not being as stable as I would like to be. I decided not to get food when I was in cycle. I went back home and ate something very simple, and then rested because I got really tired as well. And I guess at a certain point, I'm in the phase where I realize when my energy shifts, and I realize when my energy is temporarily, you can call it lower, or it's in that mist of transformation that it creates a wobble through my system, right? Through my conscious awareness and so forth. And so I've learned to give it space, to allow it to come out. And when I give it space, part of my practice is to apply what I learn in my meditation, in all the holistic and spiritual practices, and just to hold space with it, engage with it, develop a healthy relationship with it, right? And yet remain calm in my mind as best as I could. Meaning, if they're right, it's like juggling a couple things, right? Noticing thoughts and then letting them go, not attaching to them, as well as to at times silence those thoughts through breaths, through stillness, or whatever. And then at times, when there are thoughts that have a little bit more stickiness, allow them to serve the purpose to move, to go with the shift of the energy, but yet also not be attached to them, not to like, just because they're sticky doesn't mean they have to go in the spiral, downward spiral, and then expand, right? They can be sticky, so they can stick to that energy in the moment that is shifting, right? That I'm like, I can't explain. I can't explain to myself why this energy is shifting, but I feel it. I feel it in my whole being. And it, right, and I've been through this, so I know that it eventually ends, right? So okay, I'll go on this, let's say a roller coaster, right? Sometimes it goes higher and then it drops, and then sometimes there are more spins and more loops and so forth, and then sometimes it's just like a little kiddie roller coaster, right? I don't know, but I just tune into a part of myself that have mastered these processes and continue to master these processes, and have been my guardian, champion, and my best friend in supporting me through doing these work, right? You can call it, right? I shared it in one of my previous video, right? I tune into my heart, my soul, my connection with divinity, and then sometimes I just tune into the core of my being, right? I even just say it, but that's what I know I'm tuning into, right? Going within, tuning into the core of my being, and I've felt this core of my being, or this core, be with me for my entire lifetime. It's just the first 33 or 35 years of my life I wasn't aware of it, and then I went through my self-discovery journey, spiritual journey, and then that journey, one of the gifts of the journey was to become aware of it, to have a stronger connection, bond, and relationship with it, and to ask it for help cultivate it when times are good, lean on it, ask it for help, tune into it when I experience these wobbles, or when there are some things that are beyond wobble and just more intense. And also as part of my practice, I also tune into the non-physical, the team, and so forth. And so different phases, different stages, I tune in, and I align to, and I use different things that helps me. And if that moment, or in that phase, it brings, right, comfort, peace, stability, and clarity, that's what I tune into. And that's when I know that, oh, that aspect, or that facet, that tool, that energetic, that energy, or a specific, let's say, a specific energy signature in my spiritual team. And then I tune into that. Sometimes I don't even know, I just do it. And part of it is just part of the not knowing, it's not to confuse. For me, this is what I know, it's not to confuse my consciousness. It's not that to not allow me to share with others. Is that when I'm going through this process, right, to take my intellect, to take my brain and my mind, the logic, to take it out of the equation as best as I can. And so the less names, the less these external things that are helping me, right, the less that I get attached to these ideas of what other people have of these non-physical forces, or these energetic aspects, or internal things. Just not using my mind to try to shift energy, right? Not using my mind to try to hold emotions, right? So, but yet, part of the healing journey is also difficult to express and explain and to share, because when you experience deep healing, you must take the mind out of it, because the mind is not trying to harm you, it's not trying to harm me, but it comes in and it starts creating these stories from any thought, any little kernel of thought from the minute to a bigger thought, and then it'll start attaching to external thoughts that other people have created and other pollutants. So the best practice is just to keep the mind, allow it its space while I go through my own journey, my own process of letting the energy go through its shifts and letting it settle. Anyway, so when I felt all this energy after I ate, and I tuned in, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hang out in the living room anymore. I went into the bedroom. And when I went into the bedroom, yes, my entire body felt tired. My head and eyes felt tired. So I was gonna allow myself to rest. And then these raw emotions came up that of just experiencing human suffering, right? Experiencing suffering that I've experienced before, that in that moment felt like I'm re-experiencing them again. And then in that moment, it felt like I'm feeling stuff, right? I'm feeling just a general suffering, right? Without trying to attach my own stories to it. At times they jump in, and then I let them go, right? Then my process has been just to cry, right? Allow tears to come out, not going to crazy mode, right? But just be masculine and yet let the tears come out. Let the fucking tears come out. And then hold space for myself there. And of course, it's not the first time, right? It's not the first time. And then when I was going through my journey, especially the last 8 to 10 years, and as I was more aware of all this stuff, as there was more shifts, more energetic shifts, more things, and I was learning different modalities and all this stuff, oh, you bet you I cried a whole lot. And then I wasn't, and not every time I was able to keep my thoughts at bay, keep these stories at bay, keep these spiraling thoughts and emotions at bay. No, right? And then the cycle would last for not just that moment of crying, right? It would last for days, weeks. And then before I was more aware of all these moving pieces, right? That was before this 8 and 10 years. That would be when I was going through depressions and these episodes of what the fuck is going on? And I had no awareness of, and no tools, and no internal, and no external support to help. And I can laugh about it now, but because it's it's sad. But I'm also happy that I'm not there anymore. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not what I experienced. I'm not the suffering that I experienced. That I'm not all the suffering that I experienced, and I'm not, all the ecstasy that, certain moments that was profound and blissful. I'm not of those things as well. And then I came to more of a place that you can call it neutral, but it's more balanced and harmonious. And then from this state of being in this place, I'm able to do these cycles, right? They become more condensed, right? So what happened was, yes, I cried. I felt these negative energy. I felt these negative thoughts, and they were just there. And I did my best to let the thoughts go. Did my best to not attach to the emotions. I did my best to not allow the heavy energies to stay, but just to okay, I'm crying. What do you want me to do? I'm already crying. Kind of clumping together in my room. And then of course, there are times that I laugh when I do this now. I'm able to break out a chuckle, break out a laugh, because I've been through these cycles, right? But it's still super intense. Yeah, I mean, later on I'll share these mini realizations, and you can call them mini tools or mini dials that I spin while I'm going through these cycles, and I allow myself to break a smile, even when I'm in those cycles and there's all this stuff coming up, because that small gesture, right? I'm not going out and no one sees it, but yet that small gesture of smiling and having the agency and sovereignty to make a decision to smile, right? I'm smiling for myself. I am consciously signaling my unconscious and subconscious from like, yep, we're doing this. I get the inside joke. We're doing this. We're having this human experience. We're suffering as a human being. So what I can do as a small gesture, I can cry. I'm also going to put a smile on my face. Yes, when I go out, even though in Hong Kong people are not super friendly in general and they won't carry a smile on their face when they're walking around. And and so I smile to people at times, and sometimes they smile back, and I know who not to smile at and who is more receptive of smiling. So I'm a pretty cheerful person, especially when I go out and whatever. It's just when I'm inside and I'm going through my processes, obviously it's very difficult. And so running out of daylight, but that's what I experienced last time. So this is more of a channel teaching versus a channel message, but I guess it gives you a glimpse of how sometimes it's very messy, right? And I have experienced this when I go to not so much seminars, but like workshops and retreats that are more focusing on deep inner work, alignment, healing, right? Very genuine work in teaching. And I've seen other people do it, and I go through that as well. And yet those spaces and those teachings and other people that are there, that collection of people there can only do so much for you, for each of the people there. And I continue to do my own work outside of those things. So I'm just sharing a little glimpse of, hey, a little, the realness, the rawness, and of the self-knowledge journey, the healing journey, the journey of mastering, right, these energy and these other aspects and facets that are like constantly in shift as we're going through these healing ourselves and experiencing suffering, and also experiencing bliss and delight and joy of this world. And so this is a very raw, and the process is a little messy when we're in the depths of that practice and I guess experiencing suffering in a healthy way as a human. But yet we're, the healthy way is not to shove it under the rug and say there's no suffering, and that on the journey of healing or spirituality or self-knowledge that it's all roses and butterflies and everything is positivity and so forth, affirmations. No, some of the deep work involves sometimes these very personal stuff that not everyone has to share. It's part of my alignment, you can call it mission and path, to share some of this with you. And right now only a couple people are watching my video, so I don't know if it'll get out, but I'm doing it just to share. So yeah, until next time, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Like, share, and comment, and then subscribe, right? So I'm still learning all of this, but at least you know that I'm better at some things, and I'm still learning this whole YouTube and recording videos and so forth. So until next time, have a great day. Love.